allhiphop.com, Yo Raps. Just became an iReporter for CNN, so we get artists, independent artists featured in the CNN iReport Music Spotlight. Also became the premier reporter for Examiner.com, which is a top 100 site on the internet. 33 million unique visitors per month. Get artists featured in their independent music spotlight as well. This is what we do in XXL. We pretty much have a page in XXL every month. We do the Urban Threshold Artist Spotlight. Usually we have a full page. This was a half page in this particular issue. So we pretty much get you guys, helping you to kind of build your buzz, get your brand up, and so, you know, you can be in demand to make those demands. You know? So that's basically what we work on. Today, this event is the On the Radar event. We have Epic Records here and Q Records as well with EMI, correct? And so basically, they're here, they're gonna watch the performances, give you feedback and so forth. And we're gonna let these guys introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they do. All right, first we got Mr. Jeff Juin from Epic Records, A&R. Give him a round of applause.
So yes, I'm Jeff from Epic Records. I always come to these things just to see the faces and figure out what else is moving on the ground level that I probably have missed. So I always come out to Jesse's summits to just figure out what other talents, you know, that I can't probably see through my everyday connections. So yeah.
Tell me a little bit about some of the projects you're working on, or have been working on.
I've just finished up the Michael Jackson album, which was a great release for me. The new one that's out, so you guys should absolutely go get that. I have a girl from LA. She's coming out in August, and I have also Vinny Chase and Kid Art that are based out here in New York. So probably Kid is coming in October. Vinny's coming a little bit next year.
They're both rappers?
Yes, they're from Harlem.
Vinny Chase hot.
Yeah. So both of them. I signed both of them, and Jude is coming sometime in August, and finished up Michael Jackson. So.
Okay. And who are you working with? Who do you work with up at Epic? What's the situation over there?
Of course, my boss is L.A. Reid, and you know, his accomplishments span through from, you know, to Rihanna to freaking Babyface, who we were just talking about. I don't know, his accomplishments. He has a lot. Pink, I don't know. He has a lot of rappers, you know, acts that he's done. Jay, Kanye, stuff like that. Me myself, my first real big project, of course, is the Michael Jackson thing, which I got involved in that by getting Timbaland to reproduce the whole entire album of, you know, records that you've probably never heard, and you know, so they're new records to the public that he's done from the early '80s, from the late '80s to early '90s. So I work with Timbaland a lot, and he's a headache. He's a headache. I work with Polo down a lot. He has a couple of new stuff coming out. But yeah, so my job is just to try to get the right people in the room to make these albums for my artists, and you know, also try to get new artists such as yourselves, and evaluate it for my company and figure it out if it's the right thing that we can work at Epic.
And speaking of producers, what some of these artists are also producers as well. What advice do you have for producers who are, you know, trying to land those placements and so forth?
I don't really have advice, because I can't tell you how to make records. You know, I always find, you know, and I'm pretty sure you come across the same thing. I always find that only thing I always tell producers is to get the right artist on your shit. That's the best thing I can tell them, because, you know, we were just speaking of that girl's story, like a fucking, you know, Neo record is not going to work for Story because it's not the same thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the Neo record was whack. You know, say for instance, like Wrecking Ball, that record was originally for Beyonce, but it could you guys hear Wrecking Ball and Beyonce? Like, you can't hear that shit. So I always tell producers and writers is you just gotta find the right artist to be on your records. So it's not necessarily, you know, sometimes, you know, people are like, yo, your shit is whack. You know what I'm saying? It may be because it is whack, but also in experience, you just gotta find the right person to be on your record. Not every artist this is gonna fit for. So.
Okay, so Jeff Juin will be here today, checking you guys out. Also, we got Mr. Quayshaun Carter, Q Records, EMI. Give him a round of applause. Give him a little background, Q. Tell him a little bit about, you know, some of the many things you've done.
A lot. You know, I started out in the music business in 1989, actually. So this is like my 26th year.
Wow.
Doing music, 26, 27. You know, and I started as an artist at Epic Records, and then went on to work at Uptown. From Uptown to Tommy Boy, from Tommy Boy to actually doing consulting for BMG, Sony, Universal. I've done everything from manage artists like Yin Yang Twins, Nappy Roots, Peter Pablo. I've worked with Bone Thugs and Harmony. I've worked with Jay. I've worked with Biggie, Pac, Total. You know, Pink, Fun Loving Criminals, Dave Matthews Band. And we promoted a lot of records, and I've also done international touring. Brandy, the Fugees. I talked Lauryn Hill into going solo, so I was instrumental with the, you know, that album that, man, we won 5 Grammys, sold 20 million albums that year. It was a great year. It was a great year.
Yeah, records was
and we did very well. And now, you know, when I did my label, you know, I wanted to be fully independent because, you know, as opposed to what Jeff does with the major, is I wanted to be a part of artist development, be able to take artists in from the ground floor and build them up and develop them into something, and then take those artists to, and you know, an upstreaming situation. And that's how I originally started. And then I just decided, like, if I'm going to do all that work, I'm just going to put it out and make the money myself. So that's how Q Records was formed, and I, you know, entered a strategic partnership with Caroline, or EMI Distribution, which is their independent arm is called Caroline, and you know, Dominic Pandisa, who's the president of Caroline, you know, I did my deal personally with Dominic. We sat in the office and just knocked it out because we knew each other for so many years. And then, you know, I also manage producers. I manage a production crew called the Heavyweights, who won Grammys with Neo, Nicole Scherzinger, Snoop Dogg, and you know, our forte is just to keep getting placements as far as production is concerned. And I'm also now working with a songwriter from Mexico who literally, he wrote and produced an entire album, and another artist stole the music and put it out as if they wrote and produced it. So he owed about $20 million from a major. So we're about to go and collect that money. So that's becoming another forte of mine now. So yeah, I mean, you know, this is a business where it's all about, like what Jeff said, it's a fit. But everything's a fit. It doesn't just stop with a producer and a songwriter. You know, a fit boils down to the team you work with, who's publicizing you, who's marketing you, who's managing you, who's your attorney, who's your accountant. All those things have to be a fit because it's all a marriage. It's all a relationship. And if that relationship isn't productive, it doesn't matter if we like each other. Like, I don't have to like you to do business with you. But if our relationship isn't productive, if I'm not fulfilling my obligation to the relationship and you're not fulfilling yours, then nobody makes money. And, you know, this just becomes a waste of time. And I don't waste time. Like, we're not making money, we're not going to be together for very long. You know, you won't see me. And as you can see, people like Jeff and myself are really the gears of the music business. We don't wear big jewelry, we're not running around driving Bentleys, we're not doing all that. But this thing runs because of us. You know, if it isn't for our ingenuity, it isn't our ability to make those fits that we're talking about happen, then you don't happen. And if you don't happen, you know, then we're all out of it. We're all got to do something else. You know, so the good thing about both of myself and Jeff being here is you'll be able to get two perspectives, one from an independent side and one from a major side. And even though both of us have done both, and we'll probably interchange in terms of when we dialogue with you, but I'll try my best to focus from an independent perspective so that, and he'll focus from a major perspective so you can see both. because you know, both. Again, it's a fit thing. If you know, a major deal is not for everybody. An independent deal is not for everybody. You know, that's a determination we can't make for you. You've got to make it for yourself. You know, and you have to be honest with yourself. You know, if you can't afford to wage this war independently, you need him.
Hello?
Because he's got to pay for it for you.
Yeah.
But then you got to figure out how am I going to get him interested enough that he'll go and fight for me to get me the the resources I need to make it happen. And you really have to do a lot of work.
And to the when you first came in.
And then on my side, we can work together, but you're going to have to take the reins and pretty much finance and fund and direct that situation with my guidance. But you're going to have to really put in a lot more effort than you normally would. But the rewards are great. You don't have to sell as many records to make the same amount of money. You know, but again, you know, these are the things we'll try to talk about with you guys and help you guys kind of make educated decisions on what should and should not happen with your careers.
Okay. So again, give both these guys a round of applause. So what we're gonna do, Jeff is gonna go into the room, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna call you guys, and individually, we're gonna go in there. You guys are gonna be performing. Meanwhile, Q is gonna be in here doing a Q&A, talking some more things about management and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we'll take it from there. All right, Jeff. So I'll be with you.
All right, so we sit right here. How's everybody doing today?
This is good.
It's gonna have tax-free.